Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the RMPKenpachi 24-hour watch. The last time we did this was, I think, in 2019, I want to say, and we talked about the lovely cybernetic woman with the enhancements, aka the DLC. If you haven't seen it, you can see it up in the tags, or damn, is it called the tags? I don't even know what it's actually called. Up in the little thingamathing and the little jibbity jib, you can see right there. But today we're back and we're going to be talking about Sir James Charles, also known as Jessica, when he put that wig on. So James Charles has been accused again by several new young men that they've talked to him on Snap and they felt uncomfortable by the conversations. Just to put this in reference, how many times, this is like once a year at this point. Last year, kid came out, said the same thing. He felt uncomfortable. You know, the conversations were a little much. Pics were sent. No, that kid's clout chasing, this and that, the third. Yes, James the victim. And James keeps running into the same mix-up that I didn't think was possible. I thought this was a very open-closed type of thing, even if you didn't do it, and history said at one point you did do it, but then you pulled the Uno reverse, and now history is saying that you cleaned up. I would assume that you would stay away from that. In my head, this makes so much sense, but then I go look at things on the internet and it doesn't. And it's like, with so many people, I just look around and I'm like, okay, and there's no nice way to say it. I'm just going to say deviant behavior. If you're such a slave to your flesh, right, to the point you got to cum, I understand all about that, right? And I just think to myself, like, man, I understand you got to bust a nut. I understand in his case, he don't want to bust a nut. He want to get his fudge packed. He wants somebody to pack it in, drop a hot steaming load right in the epicenter of his ass. I get it. Well, no, I don't get that, but I get wanting to bust a nut. I just don't understand why people risk the money to do said thing. That's where, honestly, when I take a step back and I think about this a lot in my head, why him? Like, that's the first thing I'm thinking. If I go outside and every single time I'm walking down the street, I get in a fight and I come back in the house and my eye is bruised 4 times out of that month, my mother is eventually going to start asking, what are you doing to niggas that makes them want to square up with you and fight every time they see you in the street? What is happening? Because something has to be happening where it's like, man, they really don't like that boy Rob. They shooting to kill on him. They really want to blow his head off. And that's where I guess I'm just slightly confused. And I'm just looking around the room. The audio ain't matching the visual. That's a Rolex on his wrist, but it's ticking. It's not a seamless like spin like that. It's tick, tick, tick. I'm just thinking every single guy, if you want to be a deviant, why not just pay? And I'm not an advocate for tricking, but if it's at a level where it's like, man, I need me a pretty boy to bust this butt. I'm trying to have a nigga go in raw and fire. Like, literally, whenever I think of this, like go in raw and fire one off, I'm thinking like the dick is one of those X-Wings from Star Wars, and it's infiltrating the Death Star, and you see Luke in the tip of the dick just fire it off, and what he's firing off is that nut. It goes deep into the Death Star, blows it up. If you want that to happen, right, why not have a manager reach out to people and do the research for you to say, hey, you know, hey, old boy over there look good. I need him to fire this off of my Death Star. And your manager reaches out, hey, James Charles would like to collab. He would like to get to know you. And then the person's like, oh, no, how old are you? You get some information. And then at that point, you say, okay, of age, fine, do what you want to do. If not, then you just go about your business. What I really think it is I think people don't say this low key, but deep down in their heart, they're like, man, these motherfuckers are going to watch regardless of what I do, and I can do anything I want. But you can't necessarily say that, because when you give that type of poison to somebody, it may pull them out the matrix, and we don't know what people are capable of when they're pulled out the matrix. So because of that, you got to keep it a G and say, you know what? Which is something he legitimately said on social media. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. This is on me, guys. My mistake. I'm going to do better. Second time, shame on you. Ain't this like the 5th, 6th time? We gonna remove 3 from the track record because, you know, oopsies, you know. the people got the little story wrong there in some aspects, so we can't say it's 6 of them. So we're gonna take 3 away. But isn't this still like 3? I just scratch my head. I just scratch my head a little bit. How hard is it to just get a manager to reach out to people that you may romantically be interested in, so you can remove that aspect of I didn't know? Is that crazy? Is that crazy? That it doesn't sound crazy to me, but then I look on the internet again. And then on top of it, let's just go ahead and keep it a bean. That nigga James is playing with that pussy, bro. You telling me you in LA and you keep doing all this sexting? You can't find somebody to blow your ass out in LA? You can't find somebody to dig you out, have you on your stomach, push your head into the pillow as they fire one deep off in your ass in LA? In LA? In LA. Come on, y'all. In LA? He can't find somebody to really, demolish 8 inches length, 3 inches girth in LA. He can't find that in LA? You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here for right now. I just wanted to talk about this. This was just deep in my heart. And I wanted to remove it so I can get on Destiny 2 with full Colton and we can do raids. That's what I want to do. So I'm showing up now to talk to you. And I'll be back tomorrow. If you guys like this, make sure you give it a like, drop a comment. If you want more than 110 hours of additional content, you can do that by clicking the description below and checking out that Patreon. With that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Everybody have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.